from I Know Jax. I'm down at the Home and Patio Show at the Prime Osborne Center. And this morning I got Hank Watson from Henriettibles here. What? And you're doing, I got to get this right, bourbon, that's the first part, butter pecan, rice pudding. It's a very long description.
Yeah.
But the key ingredient is bourbon, I think.
Yeah, who cares about the rice?
Right. Rice pudding, whatever. And the even better part is you get to have samples when we're done. Not you guys that are watching online. I'm sorry, you got to get your butts down here.
You really wish you were here.
Yeah, really. So, before we get started, I want to go ahead and talk about, you don't see me in pink often. I think there's going to be more of that. So let's talk about boobs.
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 Boobs. Everybody loves them.
Don't they? No, seriously, let's talk about Boobs-a-Palooza. I know this is your 10th
anniversary.
Yeah. What is Boobs-a-Palooza? How did it come about?
Boobs-a-Palooza started, I did it as a team fundraiser for the American Cancer Society, Making Strides Against Breast Cancer.
Okay.
And I really met a lot of women who were amazingly graceful in their fight against breast cancer.
Yeah.
And it didn't matter if they survived it or if we lost them, they were still just so amazing.
Yeah.
So I thought that continuing this in their honor would be really the thing to do. And one of the big keys about this is it's a really fun, uplifting event that's about something very serious.
Sure.
So they like that energy.
If you go to Boobs-a-Palooza, what do you expect when you go there?
We're going to have 2 stages at Lynch's Irish Pub, and everybody says, Lynch's, what, 22 bands? How are you going to do that?
Yeah.
So there are 2 stages. We have one inside and one
out
outside,
at
big
the patio.
tent.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a pink St. Patrick's Day.
Cool.
So
I like that. Pink St. Patrick's Day.
That's really what it's like.
I love it. And you guys have been raising money for all these 10 years. And I think what we need to do is, let's make this a record year.
I would love that. That would be amazing. And we're really...
let's work on that.
Yeah,
okay, we can do that.
We can do it.
And I'm just going to say, first, thank you for what you do, because I lost my sister to breast cancer 2 years ago in September. So not enough people out there like you.
Yeah. Well,
it's very cool.
I'm happy to do it because it's such an important... Everybody is touched by breast cancer.
Sure. So what are the dates?
It is October 5th.
Oh, so you're coming up on it. Yeah. October 5th.
Bands start playing at 11. Doors open at 10:30. We're going till 10 o'clock at night. It's a really long,
and
fun
if you've ever
day.
been to Lynch's, it's a party all the time.
Right.
All the time.
And this is just pinking for a good cause.
I love Pink St. Patrick's Day. That's gonna stick with me for sure. All right, so let's get into the food. That's why the people are here for sure.
Right.
Bourbon, butter pecan, rice pudding.
Yes.
What? how did you think of that? Because that's, why not?
We wanted to do some stuff that was kind of holiday-ish. So I was thinking pecan pie.
Yeah, because all this fall weather we're having.
Right,
it just
exactly.
Makes you
So that was part of that. And then I make one of my cakes is a bourbon butter pecan cake. So everybody loved it. So I thought, let me try this, see how it goes.
See how it goes.
Yeah, and it really...
So show me how
I think
it
tastes better than the cake.
Shh, don't tell anybody. Hey, good, come on in.
One of the really great things about rice pudding is you can make this, the recipes are up here by the way, you can make your rice
ahead of time.
Right.
Yeah.
And you can do this all at one time, or if you have leftover rice from a dinner, you could just make some excellent rice pudding. So
I like that idea.
It's extremely versatile.
Let's get to the bourbon part.
You're so impatient.
Well, it's just in my nature. I can't help it.
So let's get this bad boy on. Which is the front one? All right.
I don't know how high you need it, but that's the one.
So this rice is cold, so it's not gonna look as pretty as the samples you have there since it is cold.
Because you have to boil those down more, or?
Yeah. So this is. But we got time. We can do it.
No, what I love is that you have it already made. So as soon as we're done, the magic of television, we just, there you go.
Right, and you know when
you guys going to join us for some rice pudding?
There's bourbon in some of it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I got some waving there.
So we probably should have handed out the recipes there beforehand. So we're going to take a cup and a half of the milk that we're using. We're going to reserve some of it for the end.
Okay. Any kind of special milk? Any kind of milk?
No, I would use whole milk,
Whole
but
milk?
if you use something different, coconut milk works really good.
Yeah.
Almond milk will work, but
It's a
coconut,
little thin though, isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah.
But and you can just add, well,
More.
they have creamers now.
Okay. Okay. They have creamers.
Yes, they do. Oh shit! And look, I just didn't even follow my own directions. I just poured the whole thing in.
Did I distract you?
You did. I'm just thinking about the bourbon.
We can make it work.
So I'll reserve the half and half instead of the milk.
Yeah, that works.
So really, most of this stuff just needs to heat up just a little bit. It's like
Yeah.
really thick. Okay, so we're gonna add the sugars. We've got just regular granulated sugar. Now, I'll
And
tell you, I have not.
so that's like 5 cups. How much is it?
Right. It's half a cup of sugar.
Okay.
Believe it or not, doesn't it look? It looks like so much more when you put it in these ramekins. It looks a lot more like more than a half a cup. Look at you go.
Well, I mean,
Then we
I got to pretend like I'm doing something up here.
Then we have a half cup of brown sugar. You can use light or dark brown sugar. The dark brown sugar will just give it a little richer, more
I like
molassy kind of
I
taste.
like the darker better.
So, and this doesn't look like as much because it's packed brown sugar.
Okay.
So I don't know if y'all know this, but whenever you see brown sugar in a recipe, unless it states otherwise, you always
it.
pack it.
Yeah.
You doing okay there?
I'm doing great. We hadn't gotten to the bourbon part yet, but I'm doing better
Well,
now. I know we're getting there.
The recipe calls for half a cup of bourbon. I am a bourbon person, so,
So
and
2 cups.
everything I make tends to go a little heavier on the bourbon.
So do you go by the same thing when I'm doing Italian cooking, at home?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. A glass of wine goes into the dish, and then
Right.
two glasses
go
into the
yeah.
into
Here,
the
look, we
chef.
can improvise.
Yeah, there you go. That's how we do it. And it's a good morning. And what are you using there?
This is Jim Beam's Devil's Cut. To be honest with you, when you don't use a decent bourbon,
Woo. Good morning.
believe it or not, you really will taste the difference.
It's a Friday.
Even though it's even though it's being cooked and the alcohol itself gets cooked out,
It does.
you still will taste the difference if you get if you just get the
cheap
ABC
stuff.
brand of
No diss
whiskey.
on ABC.
No,
I've drank plenty of that.
Oh, look, I'm gonna put more in. No. All right, then we have some cinnamon somewhere around here. Here we go.
So this is a good holiday dish.
It is. And the other, by the way, I have the recipe up here, but we're not going to demo this. The other rice pudding here is a peppermint mocha. It doesn't have any bourbon in it, unfortunately. So it's just peppermint mocha there.
But that's very holiday-ish
Yes. So we're trying to cover the holidays, by the way.
because of the fall weather we're having.
Yes. Because it's so chilly out there.
I know, right?
The
When
leaves
those
are about to fall
leaves
off
are
the
coming.
trees.
That's the one thing. I grew up in North Georgia, so I'm used to having the seasons. So that's the only thing I miss from up there, that in the mountains. Okay, and banjo music. Or maybe not so much banjo music.
With me, I'm still focused on bourbon. I'm like, what am I doing with my eggs? I have no idea.
I got you way off your tracks
I know
already.
you
didn't I?
did.
Started out talking about boobs, and we go from there.
Boobs and bourbon, it's a great
Boobs and
match.
I'm telling you, how can we go wrong?
Never trust us up here.
No. So, but I'll talk about boobs as a palooza a little bit more.
Okay, let me borrow that while that heats up more.
Okay. What are some of the
I want
main?
to say something real quick before
Sure.
you do it. When you are working with eggs that's going into a hot liquid, one of the things you have to do is temper it. Yeah. So that's why I wanted to get that rice that was on there off of it, because if I stuck that hot rice right in there, it would just make scrambled eggs for us.
And what's wrong with that?
Well, we just don't want it in our rice pudding. All right, here.
So I was gonna ask about boobs at Palooza. What are some of the bands we can expect to see there?
One of the bands is Go Ask Alice. And
Go Ask Alice.
Yeah, she's done many of them. Was one of the original Boobs-a-Palooza.
Okay.
So
and
think back.
This is a woman named Alice.
No, her name is Barb.
Why wouldn't I go ask Barb then?
So she's kind of hippie-ish. She's super cool. She plays guitar, sings the harmonica at the same time. Sings the harmonica, plays the harmonica at the same time. Super
She's a
talented.
Jefferson Starship fan, obviously.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. She
I'm
definitely.
old enough to know that reference. That's bad.
She really is. She's super, and
She sounds perfect. The hippie chick. That's
yeah. A little interesting tidbit about her: she designed the TGI Fridays logo. She used to be a graphic
So she's
artist.
the one to blame. Okay, gotcha.
Right. So our guitar, Bands Against Breast Cancer, our guitar logo, she designed that for
Cool,
us.
very
Yes.
cool.
So she was a board member
Go ask
at
Alice.
one time. Yeah.
Who else?
Fat Cactus.
Oh, they're great.
So Fat Cactus
I
used
like
to be
them.
Out of Hand, and Jeremy, who's their lead singer and
And he does a-
saxophone player.
He does a great open mic night at a downtown. I don't know if you knew that or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and Jeremy's an original Boobsapalooza as well.
Is he super? He's got that great bluesy voice, and
Yeah.
he plays the saxophone amazing.
Yeah, he's got long curly red hair. Usually,
And
wears
he's a
it.
rocker
Yeah,
on
he's-
top of it.
yeah,
It's like
he's
those
awesome.
things don't always go together. But
And his
he-
mother's a breast cancer survivor.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a really good musician.
Yep. Reggae SWAT team.
I don't know Reggae SWAT Team, but I feel like I need to.
Yes, they're great. They are not an original Boobsapalooza member, but they have done. If you ever heard of the 26.2 with Donna, the marathon?
I haven't heard anything about that. Tell me more.
So we used to do the music. Our bands would volunteer their time.
Oh, okay.
And so they played live on the route.
Okay.
So Reggae SWAT team has played.
Reggae SWAT Team.
Yep, they've played
That cinnamon
many
is
years for us in different
coming up
things.
now.
Yeah. So something that kind of freaks people out a little bit, I'm going to talk about extracts. So one of the things I was going to mention about the ABC vodka, you can make your own extracts really easy. Extract has a small amount of alcohol in it. All your extracts have a small
So,
amount of alcohol in
how
it.
much of that do you have to drink to get a buzz?
You'd probably have to
Like
drink a case.
20 of them.
You'd probably have to drink a case of them.
I don't like butter extract that much.
So this is actually a butter extract. So if you want stuff, say you're making waffles and you want to get that real
Extra
buttery
buttery.
flavor, this is it without all those calories.
That's probably what's in Mrs. Buttersworth.
Yeah, and
I'm
the
guessing.
spray butters.
Yeah.
So it's just, they reduce it down really, really
To its
low.
essence.
Yeah, and then they put it with some
Oh, we
vodka.
got some boiling action
Yeah.
going on. Boop. I like how scientifical you are.
Boop. You like that?
I do.
So
We
that's
can do a cartoon version of us easily, you know that. That would be scary. I already feel like a cartoon version of myself.
I know. Thanks. Wait, are you saying I'm a cartoon?
I think we would make a great cartoon together, yes.
I know, every time we do this, we're like,
The-
we need to do this more often.
More often, yeah. You had the Fairly Odd Parents cartoon, right? They're really funny. I think that we could be fairly odder.
I think that's a probability. All right, we're going to want to
Should we
turn that
reduce
down.
that down?
Yeah.
I was going to say.
So normally
I
this is
guess?
going to thicken up a lot faster. We don't have all that time to make that happen.
So how long would you simmer this normally?
20 minutes.
20 minutes, okay.
Yeah, so that's
So we're time lapsing forward.
right. So if you were cooking the rice as you're doing this, the rice is already warm, so it wouldn't even take,
Gotcha.
it takes less time to do things. So
What do you got going on over
I'm
there?
going to finally crush half a cup of almonds, pecans.
You can do almonds if
You got me,
want.
I'm still on bourbon.
That one little sip just took her over the edge.
I know, right? I just want more. That's what it is. So we try to chop these up super fine.
Okay. So when you say super fine, is it powderish or do
Very,
Okay.
even finer than that.
Okay.
But I'm not going to keep doing that. So by doing that, we're releasing some of the oils that are in there.
Mm-hmm.
Pecans. So release some of the
Or
oils.
pecans, depends on where you live.
Pecans.
I always make fun of people that say pecans, but
Isn't that,
evidently it's acceptable to say that as well.
Doesn't Ron White call it pecans? Something like
Ron,
that.
if you're watching, sorry, we're making fun of you now, but yeah.
All right, so we're going to go
That's
ahead and put
wrong.
these in here. So we really are, we're going to get that
Pecan.
Pecan pecan, like Ray Poupon.
Pecan. There's actually 3 acceptable ways to say it.
Really?
Yeah, and I don't accept 2
We'll-
of them.
So the oils, way chopping them so fine, will help infuse the rice with that flavor.
Flavor.
Yeah, so we're going to do another half cup of a little more coarsely chopped so we get a little crunch
Okay.
in the rice pudding when we actually do that. We're going to wait to put those in because we want to have that crunch. All right. So the eggs, the very last thing you're going to do is the eggs.
Because that sets the whole thing, right?
Right. Well, believe it or not, it gives it a little more custardy feel.
Custardy.
Custardy.
Cool. Don't forget
Yes.
the cream. Yeah. We have helpers in the audience.
I know.
and
I
I'm glad
appreciate
we
that.
do.
Thank you.
Somebody's paying
Look,
attention
let's go
here,
ahead and put
and
the
it's
cream
not
in
us.
so I don't forget. Because obviously you're figuring this out, right? You're knowing where we're at on this.
Behind
Everybody's going, you guys
behind
drank,
the
you guys
scenes with-
drank all that
with-
bourbon
with Hank
before you
and
got
Joe,
up here. So, but you can see even the cream starts to thicken it up.
Yep.
And that little bit of powder from the
Yep.
pecan that acts as a thickener too. So if you grind up almonds or pecans or pecans or any of
Don't
those
do that
things,
again.
it'll thicken things up a little bit for you. So I just take a little bit at a time and get it in there to temper it. The eggs weren't super, super cold when we got here,
So that's a good thing.
yeah. And if you're ever baking something, baking a cake, it's always good to not have cold eggs when you bake the cakes. You start
Well,
with
I grew up on a farm, and we never had our eggs in the refrigerator.
yeah.
We just had them in a basket on the counter, and we went and got fresh ones all
Yeah.
the time.
So we'll,
I always thought it was weird when people had their eggs in the refrigerator.
yeah. Yeah, everybody freaks out when I leave eggs out on the counter. I'm like, they're
They're
fine.
totally fine.
And butter.
Oh yeah, butter. Well, so this is how country I was. We had that pot in the middle of the stove where you put all the grease,
Oh, right.
and then when you cooked, you use that to cook with.
Your lard.
I'm telling you, that's the best biscuits you ever get is when they use that.
Absolutely true.
The renderings is what my mom called them.
That's what they are.
Renderings.
That's what they are. So when you put the eggs in, you want to do a little bit at a time. Again, we don't want scrambled eggs in our rice pudding. Look how nicely it's thickening up, though.
I'm proud of you.
What?
It's almost like you know what you're doing here.
I know. I've been winging it so far. No. And then the last thing that goes in, which any Southern recipe, and
More butter?
especially
Oh no.
especially something with pecans, is going to be butter.
How'd I guess?
That's just a tablespoon and a half. But when you see the recipe for making the rice here, when I do the rice for something like this, I put extra butter in when I'm making the rice. So that butter flavor, particularly with this recipe, it helps.
It is called butter pecan. The butter comes first. No, pecan. You missed the earlier discussion about that. Pecan is the third one, which I don't even understand.
So really,
You from
This-
South Georgia? I didn't mean to insult you, sorry. So I'm from North Georgia and we say pecan there. And in South Georgia they say pecan. I don't understand that. I'm from Tunnel Hill, Dalton, up that way. In the mountains, up in the what are you throwing in there now? You need some help.
I'm making a mess. Is
You
what
are?
I'm doing.
Well, that's nothing new.
So we're just going to put the what?
Your stuff's falling down over there. All the chopping.
Oh, thank you, Tracy.
You are a mess. If they only knew, right?
Well, you missed earlier. I was leaning over on that side of the.
Did you push it
Yeah,
off?
I was like, whoa.
Yeah,
I thought everything was going to go.
it can happen.
So that's ready. It's actually
So-
ready to roll.
Ready to rock. Can you smell this at all? No.
Oh, you need to come over and smell
Yeah.
it.
So let's plate one up for the guys on the web.
Okay.
And then we'll get these guys some samples. How's that sound?
That sound good?
Samples sounds good. In the back, he's like, yeah. And Hank was nice enough to make a bonus with the, was it peppermint?
Peppermint mocha.
Peppermint
That was actually
mocha
Tracy's idea.
rice pudding. So we got 2 peppermint mocha. No bourbon in that one, sorry.
We can add it.
There is probably butter in that
We can
one
do
too.
yeah. We can do a bourbon float on it if you want.
Yeah. So we can show the camera here. Which one? Oh, there we are. That's what that looks like.
And Joe's gonna burn his mouth tasting it.
No, I'm not. I'm gonna wait and have the other one. I'm not silly like that.
Here, why don't you
And-
take a taste of one while you're
That's
right here?
that I'll do. And then I want to remind you guys that at 1:30 we've got, who's coming up? Phil Markajon, and he's going to be making lasagna, if you like that kind of stuff. After that we've got Ibrahim Gungor, and he's going to be doing lamb shank and saganaki.
Ooh,
Flamin' cheese, baby.
Saganaki. No, I'm joking. I'm Greek, so somebody
I-
corrected me on that. I said Saganaki, and they're like,
Yeah,
it's
no.
Saganaki.
I asked the Greek person, and they told me how to say
Yeah.
it. So yeah.
It's Saganaki.
And then after that, he's going to do grilled grouper.
Ooh,
And
we
then
may
at
have
the-
to be here all
At
day.
the end of the day, at 4:30, we have, excuse me, bouillabaisse from the fish company,
Ooh,
Garrett Lee.
that sounds good.
So hang out, watch them here. We're going to be doing every hour on the here on Facebook, and I'll be posting stuff to YouTube and putting it on the website as well. So it'll be everywhere.
Awesome. Try.
Cheers.
No, you have to try them both.
I have to try them both. Yeah, it's a terrible thing to do. You guys want some? Come on up.
Come on up.
Oh, that doesn't suck at all.
I know.
That's a compliment in my house. It
That
suck
doesn't
and
suck at all.
suck. And this is the peppermint one?
Yeah, that's the peppermint mocha.